Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me. I feel like I have an echo. Do I have an echo? Oh, awesome. Great. Well, I'm Zack, and I am a recovering asshole for Jesus. I grew up in the buckle of the Bible Belt and was convinced that everyone who wasn't a conservative evangelical like me was going to hell because real Christians voted Republican, and they certainly never questioned the prophetic authority of the Left Behind series. So all I really cared about was getting raptured. I was convinced that my spiritual calling was to harass and shame strangers into becoming Christians, and that Jesus definitely wanted me to warn everyone about the Antichrist, who I was convinced was Hillary Clinton. Um, if nothing had changed, I definitely would be MAGA today. I would think that Orange Jesus was the fulfillment of prophecy, and Project 2025 would be my Bible. I think that there's a lot of people out there that grew up like that and that are like me that have left that behind or that want to leave that behind. I want to help those folks do that. I think for me, what changed was getting out of my bubble, meeting other Christians that I didn't know were liberal. And then when I found out that they were liberal, it was a shock to the system. It was a pivotal moment in my life when I met a professor in particular that I really respected and admired, and got to share all of my theories about the end times with, and thought for sure that he would agree with me, and he would affirm all of my theories of who the Antichrist was and when Jesus was going to return. And when he didn't, and it it, it rocked my world. It made me begin to ask some really hard questions. It was that proverbial thread that pulled at the sweater of my faith and made me question what it really meant to be a Christian. And that process eventually led me to begin to wonder that maybe being a Christian was more about loving Jesus, and that loving Jesus was maybe more important than believing in Jesus, and that seeking justice was maybe more important than being right, which is something that would have been anathema to me as a teenager or even as a college student, voting for John McCain and Sarah Palin. I definitely would have damned myself to hell in a heartbeat for even thinking something like that. But for me, it's been a move from the fear of being left behind to a hope for a better world in the here and now, the earth that Jesus promised on earth as is in heaven, not in that toxic Christian nationalist way, but in a way that is just embodied by radical love for our neighbors as an end to itself, not as a marketing ploy to get people to come to church or to manipulate them into becoming a convert that we can add to our membership rolls, but just to love people because they're people. Like I said, I think there's a lot of people out there that are like me that are obviously on this call, or we wouldn't be, here talking together and coming together as Christians for Kamala. And I'm sure that there's a lot of people listening in now that are coming out of that same sort of conservative evangelical bubble and are hoping for something different, for something better, for something more hopeful, more joyful. And I think that's what a lot of us see. And I know that's what a lot of us see in the Harris and Walz tickets. And if I can do anything to contribute to this campaign, I hope that it's helping folks like me that have come out of this and say that there is something better out there, and that it is possible to leave the bubble, and it's okay. Life is good out here in the rest of the real world. And so anyway, for me, voting for them is an opportunity to make the world a better place.